Hi there. This episode contains references to alcohol. Listener discretion is advised.
Just Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Just Cheesy Productions.
Hi there. I'm your host, Fondue.
I'm Cheesy.
In this week's episode, we're talking all about hangovers and cheese.
Ooh.
We're going to talk about how to prevent them.
Oh.
We're going to talk about how to cure them.
Nice.
We're going to talk about getting a hangover from cheese.
What?
We're going to find out why dentists recommend cheese.
Whoa.
We're going to learn about cheese hung over a fire.
Ooh.
And of course, we're going to tell a very cheesy joke.
Haha, joke.
Stay tuned for Hangover on Just Cheesy, the podcast. Now that New Year's is behind us, I'm thinking we probably should have put this episode out before the holiday.
Why?
Well, a lot of people drink during the holiday.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people get hangovers.
Yeah.
But did you know that cheese could actually stop you getting drunk too quickly and could reduce the risk of a hangover?
I didn't know that.
I did not know that either.
Yeah.
There's a study from 2023, according to ScienceDirect.com, that studied the effects of probiotic cheese on alcohol metabolism.
Whoa.
This research explored how a special type of cheese containing beneficial bacteria could help break down alcohol in the body more effectively.
Whoa.
And it actually saw how it could reduce liver damage from drinking too much.
Really?
They say the cheese contains special strains of bacteria that boost the body's natural processes for handling alcohol
Whoa.
and helping to convert it to less harmful substances more quickly.
Wow.
The study also found that cheese helps reduce inflammation
Wow.
and prevents fat buildup in the liver,
Holy cow.
which are common problems associated with heavy drinking.
Yeah.
And according to vinepair.com, the scientists had 20 rats split into 4 groups.
Okay.
They fed the first group probiotic cheese curds,
Ooh.
and the second group got cheese curds without probiotics,
Yum.
and the other one got no curds at all.
Aw.
It doesn't sound like this was that fun. It said the researchers
Yeah.
fed the first 3 groups 25% ethanol solution, while the last group got a saline solution.
Oh.
When they checked the rats, they had all consumed the same amount of alcohol,
Okay.
and that the ones that ate the probiotic cheese curd had only about half the level of alcohol, and I'm going to butcher this word,
Oh, boy.
acetaldehyde in their blood compared to the other 2 groups in the first few hours of drinking.
Whoa.
And they also go on to say that the livers of those that ate the probiotic cheese curds and the regular cheese curds were virtually unfazed.
Whoa.
And they actually had livers that appeared almost identical to those of the ones that didn't consume any alcohol at all.
Wow.
The article goes on to say that most shops probably won't have any probiotic curds on hand,
Aw.
but a young brie or goat cheese ought to be on the plate for your next party.
Wow.
Let's say you forgot to eat the cheese before you went out.
Oh, no.
You might be able to help cure your existing hangover with cheese.
Whoa.
According to MadeInNewYorkPizza.com, cheeses like mozzarella are high in calcium, protein, and healthy fat.
Ooh.
And these have all been shown to help soothe your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
The other ingredients in pizza might help as well.
Really?
They usually have a hearty crust,
Yeah.
which has some carbs, which helps regulate your blood sugar levels.
Oh, yeah.
And they say for the maximum comfort food experience, they suggest a Sicilian or grandma pizza.
Oh.
Spoon University suggests a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel.
Yum.
They claim bacon contains a lot of amino acids that could help restart neurotransmitters and get you thinking straight.
Wow.
They say eggs are a superfood filled with proteins and omega-3 fatty acids,
Yeah.
and that they could give you the necessary vitamins and minerals that your body is lacking.
Ooh.
There's carbs in the bagels,
Yeah.
and of course there's cheese,
Yum.
which would help to coat your stomach and ease the nausea.
Nice.
And if that doesn't work, there's a couple of different restaurants that have hangover cures.
Okay.
Steaksandhoagies.com has the Hangover. It's a hand-shaved ribeye, freshly chopped with hot sauce, crispy bacon, onions, cherry peppers, and cheese.
Yum.
HangoverEasy.com has a university food and drink menu that's dedicated just to hangovers.
Whoa.
And Carl's Jr. has the Spicy Hangover Helper Meal.
Nice.
Carl's Jr. is not a sponsor.
Nope.
But when they are, their ad will go right here. Have you ever wanted to listen to the web?
Yeah.
Well, Newsly makes that possible.
They do?
They're an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android.
Super app.
You can listen to trending articles on the web on topics that you choose and get them read to you in a natural human voice.
What kind of topics?
Sports,
Cheese?
tech, business, science.
Cheese?
I'm sure there's even cheese.
Yay!
They even have an entire section for podcasts.
Are we there?
Of course we are.
Ooh.
It's one of my new favorite podcast apps. They even have digital radio.
Holy cow.
Just go to www.newsly.me to download it free.
Whoa.
Or use the link in the description. If you use the promo code CHEESY, that'll get you 1 month free premium subscription.
Yay, Newsly.
Now, back to the podcast. I just saw a video recently that had this cheese, and it was hanging over like these open coal fires,
Ooh, yeah.
and the cheese was melting onto toasted bread.
Yeah.
It looked amazing.
Amazing.
I hope I'm not brutalizing this word,
Oh boy.
but it's called cacio cavallo.
Sure.
It's either called the hanging or the horseback cheese.
Okay.
According to especiallypuglia.com, it actually was called horse cheese or even over the horseback cheese because its shape made it easy to transport the cheese to markets by tying it in pairs and hanging them over the horse's back.
Whoa.
And this cheese is also hung to age.
Ooh.
According to Mergella.com, this cheese or the technique actually refers to hanging cheeses in pairs. They were tied with a string to age across a beam.
Okay.
So the rope sort of pulls on the top, so it kind of looks like a gourd.
Yeah.
According to chefsmandela.com, there are lots of different regional and smoked versions in southern Italy.
Ooh.
They say the Italian government only designated this cheese in the 90s,
Whoa.
but it's mentioned all the way back as far as Hippocrates.
Holy cow.
The cheese can be served a couple different ways. It can either be aged for years
Whoa.
or as little as 30 days.
Ooh.
They say it pairs nicely with honey or fig jam.
Yum.
And according to LaCucinaItaliana.com, they say you're going to use young cheese.
Ooh.
You're going to place it about 10 centimeters from the fire, and it's never going to touch the grill.
Okay.
Unlike the bread that can be passed over the fire for a few seconds to scorch it.
Okay.
They say once the crust starts to melt,
Mm.
you can remove it and taste it. The soft part of the cheese will then be free to drip.
Ooh, yum.
And as it keeps melting, you're going to keep bringing it a little bit lower as, you kind of scoop the cheese onto the bread.
Ooh, yeah.
I've never tried it, but
No.
boy, does it look good.
Yeah, it does.
According to PlymouthHerald.co.uk, there is something called a cheese hangover.
What?
They say that certain fatty and sugary foods can leave you with a throbbing headache, which is similar to one that's caused by drinking too much alcohol.
Holy cow.
They claim that the Urban Dictionary actually has a definition for the term.
Whoa.
The online slang word dictionary says a cheese hangover is the groggy feeling in the mouth and throat after a session of copious cheese eating the night before.
Whoa.
They say that many people experience what they call regular food hangovers when they're eating foods that their body finds difficult to cope with.
Wow.
Foods that are high in fat, salt, sugar, starch, or all at once.
Whoa.
And according to an article in CBSNews.com, there's about 260 different foods that can do this.
Holy cow.
They suggest that eating certain foods can trigger a vascular response involving nerves and blood vessels around the head.
Whoa.
They say that nuts, cheese, and even baked goods can contribute to the hungover feeling.
Aw.
Some people even get bloating and nausea.
Ew.
They also say that aged foods and dried foods that contain nitrates and processed foods can be difficult for some people to digest.
Whoa.
They say one of the big culprits is tyramine, a naturally occurring chemical.
Oh no.
And they also say that you find higher amounts of tyramine in things that have been aged, like sauerkraut and pickles.
Whoa.
They recommend keeping track of what you eat and how it makes you feel afterwards.
Okay.
And of course, like anything else, they recommend that you don't overindulge and try to keep yourself hydrated.
Of course.
Did you know that dentists recommend eating cheese?
They do?
That's right. According to dentistsofwhittier.com, they say if you're going to indulge in wine that you should actually have some cheese.
Whoa.
They said that excessive wine consumption can lead to tooth staining and enamel erosion,
Oh, no.
but that hard cheeses are high in calcium,
Okay.
and that the cheese has the ability to stimulate saliva.
Oh.
This is the mouth's natural way of cleansing, and it helps to wash away food particles and neutralize acids that can harm your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
They also say that cheese could actually have some antibacterial properties.
Whoa.
They say it might actually have the ability to inhibit bacterial growth in the mouth.
Whoa.
And this helps to protect teeth from decay.
Nice.
They say that cheese offers triple action benefit for teeth.
I'm ready for a joke, Fondue.
Okay, why did cheese feel bad after New Year's?
I don't know.
It had too many Swiskies.
That was the worst.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that was the worst one.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit cheesy. Thanks for listening to Just Cheesy the Podcast, episode 164, Hangover.
Thank you.
The next time you go out, make sure to eat your cheese because it's good for you.
And stay cheesy, everybody.